Hello everyone, Surat here for another Let's Peek, and this time it's going to be more than one game. Kind of. You see, something occurred to me that these Let's Peeks don't just have to be newer games that are on Steam or what have you, they can be peeks into the past as well. So something I thought I would do, games from my childhood that would still not make necessarily very good Let's Plays, but, games that actually, I spent significant amount of time playing. In this case, Tecmo Bowl. Now, this isn't the version I grew up playing. No, that was the Super Nintendo, or that was the Nintendo and Super Nintendo versions. This is the surprisingly little-known arcade machine, Tecmo Bowl, that started it all, where they drew from to port for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Made by Tecmo, made in 1987, so we are going back about 3 decades. Well, the arcade, since that's what we're looking at, is a 4-player co-op, as you see by the names on the very top. Larry, Bob, Eric, and John there. The players on the left were the Wildcats, and the players on the right were the Bulldogs. And it was always that. Eric and John were always on the right. Larry and Bob were always on the left. And that big black line you see going down the middle is because this game in the arcades had 2 screens to it. It actually had 2 full, 2 full monitors, basically. But yeah, there's not a lot to say. There are only 2 buttons. The 2 buttons do varying things. One button basically, you'll see as we play. It's not too complicated. Before the snap, you can change your receiver, but you can't change it after the snap goes. You're kind of stuck with it no matter what, so if you pick the wrong guy, best to just run it out. Yeah. So there's not a lot more I can really say about this. Let's just show off some gameplay, shall we? Enough time to get through at least 1 quarter. Players on the left always receive first. I don't control this kick. That's 100% the computer. To break free of tackles, you have to wiggle the stick around. So, let's do this. Jump for no reason whatsoever. Make, negative yardage there because I was busy trying to do something else. Go, little QB, go. So yeah, very basic gameplay. There's not a lot you can do. If you can wiggle the stick indefinitely, you can probably avoid just about every tackle in the world, but thankfully that block got picked up, so I get to run in for a touchdown. Go me! Almost the first minute burned off of the clock there. And I will apologize if this comes out choppy. My recorder doesn't really like this game too much. My recorder doesn't really like MAME in general, but And the kicks there, you just have a little sliding bar. The fuller the bar, the more power put into it, and thus, if you get about halfway, you'll get a successful, PAT. Oh, come on. In defense, you can jump and you can dive. That's about all you really get to do. You jump like this and dive like that. And I found you can switch your defender out, but it's best to go with somebody that's in the back, because it's much easier for you to cover the passes than let the computer handle it. Even though I don't do a great job, I am significantly out of practice for this type of thing. Yes, I followed an on-ball carrier out just because. I couldn't see where the ball was. 4th and 1. I will not be able to stop this. Mostly because I went after the wrong guy and did not see the crosshairs. But yeah, Tecmo Bowl has always been about more offense, less defense. Unless you're really good at picking off the pass like that. Also, if you're good at getting out of that. But eventually they will overwhelm you just because there are more of them than there are of you. And he is completely covered. Block, dude. Come on. Receiver just standing there. It's annoying. I've noticed that just about everybody is as good at breaking tackles as everyone else. So it doesn't really matter who you get the ball to as long as you get the ball to somebody. And that's the version of a handoff for this game. Didn't quite make 10 yards. And nice graphical glitch there. But touchdown. So 2 touchdowns, 34 seconds left in the first quarter. I feel this has been an adequate display of my Tecmo Bowl skill. Much unlike the first game I tried to record of this, where it looked really, really choppy. Probably still looks really, really choppy. That was a maximum power PAT. Didn't mean to do that, but it is cool when it happens regardless. Almost out of the end zone. You have to actually hit maximum power for out of the end zone, and if you do that, it actually does give you some bonus time. We got plenty of bonus time here, though, to finish out the first quarter. And yeah, that's a quarter of the arcade version of Tecmo Bowl. So, give me just 1 second and we will fire up another version of it. Okay, so here we are a couple of years later. The NES was in full swing. And we have a game that was licensed, that got the player licenses, but did not get the actual NFL team licenses. So all the players you're seeing here were actual players on the teams they played for. Denver instead of the Broncos, I think these were the Unicorns maybe? Or Seattle had Steve Largent, but it still wasn't, you know. And LA had Bo Jackson. Everybody knows the legend of Tecmo Bowl Bo Jackson, and even to a lesser extent Christian Okoye, but that came later. So anyway. Don't know what that was about. So let's see, who do I want to be? Just for ease's sake, we will be San Francisco. Not the 49ers, but you know. We will be San Francisco, or not. Who do I want to be? My normal pick would be Kansas City, but you know. Anyway, yeah, San Francisco. There we go. Forgot which button did that. First week, and we have to play Minnesota. So many things will be the same. Player 1 is... This is no longer a, you know, 2-player co-op or a 4-player co-op. This is a 2-player co-op. Your players move a little bit faster now. And if you knew about the diagonal sprint, you could pretty much get through anything. But now let's see, we have run, pass, pass, and pass. Obviously, San Francisco was set up to be a passing team. You have 4 plays. Each team has their own little set.
Ready, down. Put.
And off to Wilson. That wasn't Rice, but you know. Let's see if we can run. They kind of expected it. Will they expect it again? It's a problem with being San Francisco. Down here, you don't have a lot of options. One more play. Yeah, we'll only play the first quarter of this. Nope, did not make it. Oh well. What do I think they're going to do? Now the thing is, if you call the same... Because you see Minnesota's offensive playbook there. I've got to call which one I think they're going to run. And if I call the same one they do, it busts it wide open.
Ready, down. Put.
I still think they're going to pass.
Ready, down. Put.
They did not pass. It didn't work out for them, but you know.
Ready, down. Put.
Aw. They gonna punt? Yes, they're going to punt. So I held.
Ready, down. Put.
Tiny punt. Let's see if I can get a touchdown.
Ready, down. Put.
It'd be nice.
Ready, down. Put.
There we go. There's a touchdown. Yippee, I win again, because 1 quarter games. So we're still talking some very, very basic gameplay. Very basic. Much easier to get a deep kick, but then again, you didn't get time bonuses for it that allowed you extra play.
Ready, down. Put.
Picked the wrong pass. I still thought they were passing, but you know.
Ready, down. Put.
Aw. He might get one. Nope. And that is the first quarter of a Tecmo Bowl game. Give me just 1 second and we will switch over to the other Nintendo Tecmo Bowl. Ah, yes. Now here is the one I spent many, many, many hours playing. 1991. I was almost out of high school by then. Yes, I know I'm old. Shut up. Let's take a look at the intro here. And as kind of a nifty little rub-it-in-your-face moment, they actually advertised the fact that they had the NFL license, not just the Players Association. Good old Lawrence Taylor and Barry Sanders. Players from my era. Better than your players back there, you know, blah blah blah. So anyway, you can do preseason, season, Pro Bowl, or just go to team data. So we will go to team data to start out with, because, as I said, my choice was usually Kansas City for this type of game, because I'm, well, not as much as I once was, nowhere near that, but I am a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. Pity me. But you can look at player data, which was kind of neat. You can look and see how good Steve DeBerg was according to this game, or you could look at the actual player you would be using in this game, Christian Okoye. But that's not the real reason you come here. The real reason you come here is to set your playbook so you're not using Barry Word nearly as much, and definitely not using Barry Word to run up the middle. Actually, that's one of the best plays in the game. And let's see, what? I don't like the sweep. Let's see, I want to go. But you notice that each team has been upgraded to, each team's been upgraded to 8 plays, and you can switch, you can mix and match your plays all you want to. I want to use that, I want to use that. Let's not have DeBerg run. It's been so long, I do not remember. Do not remember what my really good plays were. There we go. Okoye is the man, as you will see when I play. I don't think it matters what I pick for most of these, so let's put the cheat game. Let's put the cheat one in there. Play action. And then, doesn't really matter much. Yeah. No, I don't have a play that even comes close to that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Just because it means almost all of my plays are now, that. Anyway. Let's do a preseason game. Man versus Com. And who do I want to play against? It doesn't really matter too much. I wish it had random, but it doesn't. I'll play against Dallas. The closest thing to local I have for pro football. And they win the coin toss. So you see, things have significantly ramped up in the presentation, and this game actually keeps stats if you play a full season, etc., etc. Once again, we will play 1 quarter. So let's see, are they going to run Emmitt Smith, or are they going to run Emmitt Smith? Probably running Emmitt Smith. What'd I tell you? And blew it up.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
So, let's see.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
Almost picked that off. And a defensive stop. Not exactly a display of brilliant tactical play on my part, but, you know, I'm not going to complain about being able to stop him. Ah. Let him get too close. Okay, Okoye, let's show him what you can do, man. About the only thing he can't shake off is a direct hit, but he'll generally shake off the first 3 or 4 people that hit him.
Down, put, put.
Not when that happens, though. I want to run that again.
Ready, down, put, put.
Really?
Ready,
Wow,
down,
really?
put, put.
No.
Ready, down, put, put.
I was wondering where that guy that went to cover him went. All the way in the end zone, huh? Nifty. And there's no power meter anymore, it's just a arrow that you have to line up. It's awfully hard to actually miss the extra points, though. They tried to keep that somewhat realistic, I guess, where extra points were not generally huge contests.
Ready, down, put, 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 put.
Ooh, picked it off. Are they going to let Okoye run?
Ready, down,
Or are they just going to call every single running play? I do.
ready,
They seem
down,
determined to
put,
make
put,
sure I
put,
do not get a single runoff with Okoye. I mean, granted, it's not exactly a bad idea to stop Christian
ready,
Okoye.
down, put, put.
He is kind of the cornerstone of the Chiefs' offense. But you can't always stop him, even if he is wearing pink. Funny thing, I mean, nothing against wearing pink, but the Chiefs are red, man. Chiefs are red. Red and white with yellow, not pink. So anyway, that is Tecmo Bowl. That is, so far, the arcade, the NES Tecmo Bowl, and Tecmo Super Bowl. So let's see what happens when we look into the 16-bit eras. Now I just have to hope my controller's still configured correctly. So yeah, we move ahead another couple of years. And they had kept all the NFL and NFL player licenses. And the 16-bit era meant you got slightly nicer graphics. Chiefs and the Raiders, perennial rivals. Many rivalries are going to be listed here, I think. I didn't didn't spend quite as much time with this one as I did the NES Tecmo Super Bowl. Lions and Packers. The LA Rams. Man. Some of you do not know that the Rams were in LA, I would imagine. I mean, I know there's some of you that pay no attention to football whatsoever, but some of you will have gone your whole life and the Rams will have always been in St. Louis. Kind of odd to me. Oh well. Anyway. And this is pretty much the exact same format we had in the last one. But let's pull up Kansas City here. And 0 QB Chiefs. Yeah, they didn't quite get the license for all the players, so 0 QB Chiefs. I'm pretty sure this was meant to be Joe Montana. Pretty sure. Since this was about the time Joe Montana. But Joe Montana had his own football game and didn't let his name go into other games. But yeah, Joe Montana. Yeah, look that up sometimes if you ever get in the mood. That's a Joe Montana football, basically. I believe was the name of it. But you still have Barry Ward and Christian Okoye and some other people floating around. Anyway, that's not what I wanted. And yeah, you can change out your starters to a lesser extent. You can put Williams in there. And the reason is, yeah, there are injuries here. You can get hurt. And you have roughly the same, he's fullback, really? That's kind of annoying. Well, I'll use Word. Okoye's not nearly the dominant superpower he was in the last game. But I still want to use him more than anyone else. That play, no, I don't want to check that one. I want my curls. The Cheaty McCheaterson play, I know, but still. Yeah, there we go. So let's do another preseason game. Because this one did actually keep stats. Kansas City and the Raiders. And you can select different weather. Yeah, this was a marvel back in the day. You actually had weather. Rain and snow in this case. But let's go ahead and put up some snow. Just because it'll look different. Hey, I win the toss. Let's go ahead and return it. Not what I would want to do for the actual, in an actual game. Yef Jaeger. You still have the ridiculous ability to run and all that, just to avoid tackles.
First down.
I'll just take the first down and go with it. Let's give Ward a little bit of a workout, shall we?
Red 24. Hut. 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 First down.
give Montana a pass here.
Round 52, round 52. Hut, hut.
Aww. Try a different pass that gets him someone going down the field.
Red 24. Hut, hut.
And he got it.
Touchdown.
J.J. Burden. Your number one receiver you will use if you ever pick the Chiefs in Super Tecmo Bowl. Touchdown, Montana. And the arrow is back.
Good.
Many, many digitized voice samples for this. So let's see. No more Bo Jackson. He was pretty much out of the league. He overworked himself, essentially. Fumble!
Blue 48. Hut, 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 hut.
Jeff Hostetler. And Dale Carter with the sack. That is the major thing they added to this. Aside from a little bit smoother feeling gameplay, a little bit slower,
Hut, hut, hut.
they added the little cutscenes in there when you did something good. And when you get Percy, snow a sack in the snow. No, that was not the reason I picked the snow. But you know. Didn't quite get in there to block that. Oh well. Come on, Carter. You failed me, Carter.
Round 52, round 52. Hut, hut.
And a forever pass.
First down.
Darn it. Oh well.
Blue 43. Hut, hut, hut. Touchdown.
Off to Cash. I barely remember him playing. Oh well. He gets a touchdown here.
Good.
Then again, when I was watching the NFL, it was pretty much, I was a teenager and had many other things dividing my attention, so I didn't really remember the names of all the players on my team. Besides, I was more of a college football fan than I was the NFL anyway. It's a problem with being born in Oklahoma. If you're a football fan, and you likely are because it's Oklahoma, and back in the 80s, Oklahoma kind of sucked. Still sucks, but in a much different way now.
Ready, set, hut, hut.
But we had, like, next to nothing in the way of protein and such.
Big, 32, big, 32, hut, 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 hut.
Recovered it, but that is the end of the first quarter, and thus ends my little, walk down memory lane of all the old, Tecmo Bowl games that I actually played, and one I only got to play because it was only in the arcade near me for a very short amount of time. But anyway, thanks for accompanying me on this little nostalgic look at, well, the only video football game I really played to death. There was one or two on the Atari I tried, and I actually did enjoy my time with 10-Yard Fight in both the arcade and the Nintendo. I'll have to show those off at some point in time, maybe. Doubtfully. But for now, this is pretty much what, when I played football on video games, this is what I played. Up until I think I got a PS1. Then I got NCAA football, and it was like Madden, and, well, Tecmo Bowl was basically gone by then, sadly. Oh well, anyway. Take care, everyone. I will see you back next week for, who knows, it might be something modern, it might be something from this era. We will see. But anyway, later all.